In the heart of the Igbo land, where thick forests kissed the skies and rivers sang to the wind, lay the village of Ụmụozala. It was a land of warriors, farmers, and traders, blessed with fertile soil and ruled by elders who upheld the customs of the land. Yet, within this prosperous village, there was one family that bore the weight of disgrace, the Okeke family. For generations, misfortune clung to them like a vulture to dying prey. Crops failed on their land, their goats wandered and never returned, and women who married into the family bore few children. The villagers whispered behind their backs, muttering that the gods had forsaken them. Even children were warned. Do not play with the Okeke children, or their curse will follow you home. The father, Izenia, a skilled but struggling farmer, walked with his head bowed in shame. His wife, Nena, bore the pain in silence, her heart heavy with sorrow. But she had one hope, the child growing in her womb. One night, as she lay under the thatched roof of their mud brick hut, she whispered to the unborn child, "May the gods see you, may they bless you, and may you break the chains of our suffering." The heavens listened. The village was alive with drums and laughter during the New Yam festival, the most sacred celebration of the land. The air was thick with the aroma of roasted yams and palm wine. Elders sat on wooden stools, dressed in their finest Isiago tunics, while maidens adorned themselves with red coral beads and danced gracefully. At the heart of the village stood the sacred shrine of Amedioha, the god of thunder and justice. It was here that the Dibia, the village's spiritual leader, communed with the gods. That night, the flames of the shrine fire suddenly turned blue. The wind howled through the trees, sending shivers through the gathered villagers. The Dibia, an old man with white chalk markings on his body, fell into a trance. His voice echoed like thunder. A child shall be born from the house of the forsaken. A child of light. He shall break the chains of misfortune and rise above kings. But beware, for darkness shall seek him before he shines. Gasps rippled through the crowd. A child. From the cursed family. Impossible. Some muttered that the Dibia had gone mad. Others sneered in disbelief. But in the corner of the gathering, Nena clutched her belly, tears streaming down her face. Hope had found her. The night Obinna was born, the sky was unlike any other. The moon glowed blood red, and a great white eagle circled above their hut. When the midwife washed him, she trembled. "He bears a mark," she whispered. On his forehead was a faint glowing symbol, one that resembled the ancient Sibidi sign of kingship. As he let out his first cry, the winds outside whispered through the village. The ground trembled, and in the distance, the once dry stream of Otamiri began to flow again. Rumors spread like wildfire. The once barren land of the Okeke family grew fertile overnight. Palm trees bore fruit, and animals returned. The people of Ụmụozala could no longer ignore it. "Perhaps the gods have spoken," the elders murmured. The tides had begun to turn, but not all rejoiced. Ikochukwu, the chief's eldest son, burned with rage. He had been raised to believe that he was the chosen one, the leader to come. Now, all eyes were on Obinna. Blinded by envy, he sought out Dibia Nwofa, a rogue priest who practiced forbidden magic. In the dead of night, they entered the forbidden Ojimiri forest, where spirits roam freely. There, under the roots of an ancient Iroko tree, Ikochukwu placed a lock of Obinna's baby hair on a black stone and spoke the words of an old curse. "Let his light be swallowed before it shines." Thunder roared. The leaves rustled violently. But the gods do not sleep. A booming voice shook the trees. "He who fights destiny fights himself." Lightning struck, and Ikochukwu was thrown backward. When he awoke, his strength was gone. His body was whole, but his soul felt hollow. His punishment had begun. Obinna grew in wisdom and strength. While other boys played, he sat with the elders, listening to the stories of their ancestors. He trained with warriors, his body growing strong. Yet, trials followed him. Some villagers still whispered behind his back, refusing to believe in his destiny. He was challenged by warriors who wished to test his strength. But no matter what came his way, Obinna never wavered. At 18, he was sent on the greatest test of all, to retrieve the sacred overstaff, an ancient symbol of leadership, hidden deep within the cursed Valley of Echoes. No man had returned from that valley. Armed with nothing but a machete and his fate, Obinna ventured into the valley. The spirits of the land tested him with illusions, calling his name in the wind, showing him visions of fear and doubt. But he pressed on, until at last, he found the overstaff, glowing beneath the roots of an old tree. As he touched it, the spirits whispered, "You have proven yourself, child of destiny." Obinna returned, staff in hand, as the village watched in awe. Even the elders bowed, for they knew that no mere man could have survived the valley. At that moment, the Ndi-Ichi, Council of Elders, declared, "The gods have chosen. Let him lead." The same people who once spat at his family's name now knelt before him. Even Ikochukwu, his old enemy, broken by his own folly, came forward and knelt. "Forgive me," he whispered. Obinna lifted him up. "You were blinded by fear. But today, let us build together." His reign ushered in an era of peace, prosperity, and wisdom. The once cursed family became the most honored, and the name Okeke was never spoken with disdain again. The legend of Obinna, the child of destiny, lived forever.